Lesson 25, Basic Rules of Probability. Example 3. 5 cards are randomly selected from a standard deck of cards. Find the probability that all of the selected cards are the same suit. So to find the probability that all of the selected cards are the same suit using the relative frequency approach would require us to count the number of ways all 5 of the cards could be the same suit. Now, as the probability problems become much more involved, the counting becomes much more involved also. So relying upon the basic rules of probability to help simplify this process will make this more useful. In this case, the way that all the 5 cards selected are the same suit is either if all 5 cards are spades, or all 5 cards are clubs, or all the 5 cards are diamonds, or all the 5 cards are hearts. Here, we're going to be using the OR basic rule of probability, which requires us to add the corresponding probabilities for each of the statements of OR. Starting with the first, the probability that all 5 selected cards are spades was already solved in the previous example. And the probability that all 5 cards are spades was calculated to be 0.05%. So the probability that they're all spades is 0.05%. Or means we can add to the next probability, the probability that all 5 selected cards are clubs. The reasoning behind calculating the probability that all 5 cards selected are clubs will follow the same reasoning in calculating the probability that all 5 cards were spades. Because there's a total of 13 clubs in the deck out of the 52 cards the first time, so there is 13 ways to get a club out of the 52 total cards the first time. And we have to get a club the second time, so we multiply. Well, since the club was already selected, we have 1 less club and 1 less card in the deck. So we have 12 chances out of 51 the second time. And so on. Each time a card is selected and we get a club, there's 1 less club in the deck and 1 less card in the deck. So we end up doing this 5 times, multiplying each time till we get to the end. Thus, the probability that all 5 cards selected are clubs is also 0.05%. Or they could all be the same suit, so we add if they're all diamonds. The probability that all of the selected cards are diamonds is calculated the same way that all of them were clubs. So the probability that all 5 cards selected are diamonds would be the 13 times 12 times 11 times 10 times 9 divided by the 52 times 51 times 50 times 49 times 48, which worked out to be 0.05%. Or, so we add the probability that all of the selected cards are hearts. And because there's the same number of hearts as spades, clubs, or diamonds, the probability that all 5 of the randomly selected cards are hearts is also 0.05%. So to find the probability that all of the randomly selected cards are the same suit, we add the 0.05 plus 0.05 plus 0.05 plus 0.05 equals 0.20%. Thus, when 5 cards are randomly selected from a standard deck of cards, the probability that all of the selected cards are the same suit is about 0.20%. This is very close to 0, meaning that it is very unlikely to randomly select 5 cards and get all of them of the same suit. In the game of poker, having all 5 of your cards in your hand the same suit is called a flush. Thus, getting a flush in the game of poker is very rare. The fact is, the probability of which hand you have determines the winning hand in the game of poker. Whichever individual has the hand with the lowest probability of occurring by chance is deemed the winner of that hand.